Hello and welcome to the ArchieLuxury program, and today I'd like to continue viewer emails. And okay, let's go straight into the mailbag. Hello, I'm a big fan of your YouTube videos and your website. I know you hate Tag Heuer watches, but I would like your opinion on a particular one. As a bit of a intro, I'm a 22-year-old man that has just graduated college. I've been dreaming of getting my first automatic luxury watch for a long time now, but never had the means to. I recently got my first job as an engineer, and have decided to buy a watch with my sign-on bonus. After wanting a Rolex Explorer for so long, I decided to have a look at other brands. I have been looking for a year now and found an excellent deal on a brand new Tag Heuer Carrera day date that really struck my eye. I like the look of this watch because I'm a big fan of motor racing. I also got it. What the fuck, you bought it, or you're asking my opinion? At a very reasonable price of $3,000 new, when it usually retails for $4,400 plus 7% sales tax. I think it is the best looking Tag Heuer by far. I plan to wear this every day to work in a corporate environment with a shirt and tie. I am not a huge fan of Tag Heuers either. I prefer the vintage Heuers, more such as this one, Jack Heuer 80th. This is the start of my collection and don't want anything too expensive to wear every day. My next watch will be a Rolex or Breitling. Do you think I made the right choice? Do you think I made a right or wrong choice, considering price, everyday use, first watch, and particular good-looking Carrera model? I'm not too savvy on distinguishing various movement and craftsmanship and such. Please advise. Thank you, Alex. Okay, Alex, first bit of advice. Ask me for the advice before you buy the fucking thing. And, I'm more than happy to help out. I mean, if you're contemplating buying your next Breguet, obviously I'd like a small kickback and a donation. But if you're a recent grad, I'll give you some free advice. But fuck, Alex, I don't know why the fuck you bought that. That's have to be the biggest fucking mistake I've heard of, and I don't think you'll get, no way in the world you get your fucking $3,000 back, that's for sure. $3,000, let me tell you, Alex, my Explorer 2 Rolex, I bought that second hand just over $3,000. That's right, so I think you bought a dud. I think that's a mistake. I mean, look, in all honesty there, I see people who I had a guy I used to work with. He was an engineer on a waterline project, and he said he got his bonus because it was a project where we got a bonus at the end, and he went out and bought a Tag Heuer Carrera Grand, and I just looked at it and I thought to myself, I didn't say anything to him. I thought, fuck, that's I wouldn't have been buying that. He paid $7,000 for it, and I just thought to myself, fuck, I wouldn't have bought that. And for $7,000, I would have bought a two-tone sub, something like that. Much better piece than a fucking Tag Heuer. And I mean, if you really wanted to get classy, you could get a Jaeger-LeCoultre. But getting back to your disaster, Alex, I don't know why the fuck you did that. That's a mistake. For your first entry-level watch, I would have got an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. That's what I would have got. If you wanted to go a bit into the vintage line, I would have got a Datejust or a sports Rolex, a no-date sub, or even an Explorer 2. Man, I think you made a mistake. You should have asked me for the advice before you bought it. And it's a nothing watch. I mean, Tag is a really strong brand, and it's because the majority of people are fucking morons. Okay, next email. Hi Archie. First off, let me say that I absolutely love your show. You always have me in stitches with your antics, and I'm always looking forward to your next video. Keep up the good work. I'm writing to you to solicit your opinion on which Breguet would be a better choice for me. the 5157 or the 5967. I've been lusting over the 5157 for a while now, as I love the classical guilloche pattern on the dial and the Baroque tradition it represents. However, I recently saw the 5967 and I am in love with the unique Art Deco guilloche pattern on that watch. I'm a sucker for anything Art Deco, which is why my first expensive watch was a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. Now, neither of these Breguet pieces use in-house movements. They are both Frederick Piguet movements, an automatic caliber 5157, a hand-wound caliber in the 5967, so that doesn't factor into the decision. Should I go with the more traditional 5157, or should I follow my dreams of owning an Art Deco style 5967? Very good question, and I got to say this: if you're asking questions about Breguet, how about you flick Archie $5 for the advice he's about to provide you? I mean, let's be honest, you're buying a Breguet, you're not exactly short of a quid, so how about we flick Archie $5 by PayPal? But I'll give you my opinion, because I've looked into this. I haven't just flipped a coin and said which one to go for. I've actually done some research and looked up both these watches here. And I also was looking at a 5140 for another customer. Well, actually, I should say a stooge, because this guy didn't pay me any money because he's a jerk. And I was looking at the different dials on the Breguets when I was researching that article as well. And I've got to say this: I love both. I don't think with Breguet you can go wrong with either way. They are both beautiful. But which one would I myself get? And I gotta say this to you, I think the Art Deco dial swings it for me. That's right, I think it just brings that classic sort of dress watch into a more Art Deco, bit more modern, sort of from the Victorian era into the Edwardian sort of era. And Art Deco, I just love it. Love Art Deco, so that's what I'd be doing. But look, to be honest with you, any Breguet you buy, you can't go wrong. Breguet is a super duper brand. So there you go, Aaron. If you found that advice good, just flick us $5 via PayPal. Okay, next viewer email, and this is hello Archie, what do you recommend for the best bang per buck, Breitling or IWC? Pre-owned, of course, and yes, I am a pilot, thanks Bud. Okay, well look, Bud, I'd say, most pilots don't make a lot of money, and that's why I'm not going to hound you for a donation here. Now, look, as far as it goes, Breitling or IWC, I'd probably be steering clear of both those brands. I think the ultimate GMT watch is the Rolex GMT, and a lot of pilots themselves actually love the Submariner. I was talking to a pilot. I bought a 16610 Rolex Submariner off him because he just traded up to the 16613 two-tone, and I bought the previous model off him. And he was with Dragonair, and he said no, a lot of pilots in Hong Kong and that prefer the Submariner as a watch. So I'd be going more Rolex. Breitling, look, they're a great watch, but let's be honest, their downfall is they've got that fucking Valjoux 7750 in most of their pieces. IWC, same. They've got some great pieces, but they've also got some ETA based pieces, and I think they're overpriced. That's my own view. Okay, next viewer email. This is from Lee's Music. Now, Lee's Music, he's a bit of a vicious little turd. He's kind of a negative fucker. And he always likes to put a smart-ass fucking comment up. He goes, Patek makes quartz for fuck's sake. And any impression of Patek went down the pan when I saw their quartz watches, and the hands don't line up with the minute markers. Even a fucking 20-pound Timex manages to do that. This piece of shit was £20,000. Overrated in my humble opinion, and look shit as well. Well, fuck you, Lee's Music. Why don't you go and buy that Timex, because you're really fucking me off at the moment. Okay, next viewer email. Hello Archie. Hello Archie, great watch collection. I noticed you mentioned watches like Patek, Vacheron, Omega, and etc. But I've not heard you mention anything about Girard-Perregaux. I want to know what your inputs on this particular brand, Archie. Well, look, Girard-Perregaux, they got some great models there. You know, they're a company which is often overshadowed, and I've got to say, the honest truth is, because they're a bit of a step down from AP, PP, VC, and JLC. They're kind of, you know, they're almost hitting in the same sort of ballpark. That's the problem. GP's got the fantastic. I like their version of the world time. It's a cool sort of thing, but I got to be honest with you. I'd rather buy a Jaeger-LeCoultre over one any day of the week. And I got to say, there was a time when GP had a lot of really mediocre sort of pieces in the 70s. So I'm not a huge GP fan. Okay, next. Hello from Belfast in Ireland. Great channel. I'm currently putting some money away for my first luxury watch. I'm thinking of an older 36mm 70s 80s stainless Datejust, blah blah blah. And he go, eventually I'd like to add a nice leather strap gold watch, something like your old Vacheron, but I'd rather pick one quality piece at a time. The best price for a Rolex Datejust is around 2,000 Australian on eBay UK, with maybe another 300 for an independent service. Does this represent good buying? Now, I tell you honestly, I'd be going for the I'd really be going for a sapphire-based Datejust, so I'd be going for the steel one would be the 16234, and the two-tone would be the 16233. I think they're a better buy. Nothing against the plastic, but that's the nicer ones. They're a bit newer as well, so that's my opinion on it there. And he asked me also, where are you on brogues? Good suits are a given, but good handmade brogues are often overlooked. I'm talking handmade British classic, Churches, Lokes. Okay, well, I'd have to agree. I'm with you there. I'm all for good brogues, and in Australia, I had an Italian shop in Melbourne that used to make handmade brogues and shoes for me, but unfortunately he's retired. But yep, I'm looking at getting a pair of Lokes very soon. They're great shoes. And you're also asking, P.S. is fuck me dead a common expression in Oz? Yes, it is. Even our Prime Minister swears like a trooper. Okay, next one. Hello, Archie. I love your vids on ArchieLuxury. I watch them all. The watch world is black and white to a true horologist. There's the shit and there's the great pieces. Despite what people like to think, there's not much debate. I have a Seamaster Planet Ocean. He bought in November 2011, I should say, and I've also have a vintage Seamaster 600 from the 60s. Yes, I know it's a modified ETA, and it's on the list of watches worn by tossers, but I simply like the design. It's exquisitely made. It's a practical day-to-day watch that looks great on my wrist. However, my watch education, I'm ready to move to a proper piece. I'm looking for an in-house movement and a watch that watch lovers will appreciate, even though the masses would overlook it. I have two choices: a Rolex Submariner on the 10 watches a collector should have, timeless classic, or a Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Slim, horological tour de force, simple and understated. I'm not in love with the Rolex. I actually think my current PO looks and feels better, but I'm aware that every watch collector should own a Rolex, and you can't go wrong with a Submariner. As for the JLC, I've loved where JLC stands in the watch world and their innovations. A Reverso is out of my price range, but I can get my foot on the ladder with a Master Control range. Which would you buy? Also, I live in Sydney. The only watch shops I know is the one in the Queen Victoria building and Fred Mann, the Strand Arcade. Are there any places you recommend? Regards and thanks in advance for spending time to read and address my questions, Brett. Look, nothing wrong with a Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Slim. That's a great piece. Rolex Submariner, look, they are a good watch, but I got to be honest with you, they're very utilitarian. No watch enthusiast is going to ever be that excited about a Rolex. Okay, the only people you're going to impress are Tag Heuer wearers. But look, I'd honestly be going Fredman, Sydney Vintage Watches, and Queen Victoria, the Queen Victoria building. I've gone into Queen Victoria building, and I can tell you this now: the watch dealers there are cunts. They're absolute fuckers. Don't go there. But Fredman, Sydney Vintage Watches, that's owned by a good friend of mine, Ronnie, and he's great. Ronnie is a great guy, and I always highly recommend his store. Go and have a talk to him. He gets some great JLCs in, but I'd be looking. I think a Girard-Perregaux is a much better piece, but. Look, if you want a real fuck off piece to impress people like watch collectors, save up a bit more and get a Reverso, and get a Reverso Grand, because I tell you now, I've got my Reverso Grand and I just love it, and every watch enthusiast I show it to, it's just beautiful piece. So that really is my advice for you there, and that brings a conclusion to Archie's mailbag. I hope you've enjoyed it, and please keep your email questions coming in. And look, if you're a person asking me which Patek or which Audemars or which Breguet to buy, why not also just flick me a few dollars, and I can give you a speedier reply, and also it helps me run the channel. I'm ArchieLuxury. Thank you for listening.